Yo, what's good? Welcome to The Broken Clock. I am Jabari. I'm gonna jump straight into it. I'm about to give y'all what is, in my opinion, the 20 most impactful black movies of all time. Real quick, please subscribe, please like, give a thumbs up, please comment. If you think I'm bugging with some of these picks, tell me. If you think I'm leaving something out, please tell me. I think I did pretty good though. Even I'm pretty sure I'm leaving one or two movies out, or I probably should have considered a couple more movies. It took maybe a movie out. I'm pretty sure. Just tell me I'm bugging. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna get straight into it, man. This is really important to me. This is really why I started a YouTube, so I could just talk about stuff I want to talk about, man. I'm gonna jump straight into it, and in the description of this video, I'm gonna list the movies I have and the year they came out, just for reference, so you can look at it. And I'm gonna reveal this list in order of when they came out. These are not my favorite 20 black movies of all time. They're movies on here that I've only watched a couple times because they're not fun to watch to me. You know what I'm saying? And, they're not that impactful to me, but you can't deny impact and influence on the country and a whole community. You know what I mean? So I think this is really important. The first movie I have is Cooley High, 1975. The budget was $750,000. It made $13 million. The cast was Glenn Turman, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, Garrett Morris, Cynthia Davis. The director was Michael Schultz. And of course it got directed for no Oscars, but I think this movie, the number one reason I think this movie is super impactful is the song at the end of this movie is It's So Hard to Say Goodbye, the original by G.C. Cameron, who's a Motown artist. I don't think Motown was doing the entire soundtrack for this movie, but they definitely did this song. And this song, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye, plays at the end of this movie. And I made a mistake and watched that before I started recording this and almost cried. That's how sad it is. But It's So Hard to Say Goodbye, Boyz II Men ends up covering it 10 plus years later. To this day, at graduations and at funerals, that song still plays. That's the definition of impact. And this movie, the show What's Happening, is super loosely based off Cooley High. The people who made What's Happening were basing it off of this movie. I don't really understand how, but if you think about Raj and What's Happening, he was a writer, and Glenn Turman's character was a writer, so they were basing off of that. But What's Happening is one of the best shows of all time. You don't get What's Happening without Cooley High. Glenn Turman was in a different world. He was in a Wire. If he was in something great now, I wouldn't be shocked. Real impact. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, he was the dad on a Jackson's American Dream. Real impact. You know what I mean? It starts from this movie. And this movie led to, this wasn't the first movie like this for black people, but this was the first big movie like this. This leads to other drama, black ghetto dramas we get in the late 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever. It starts with this movie. Real impact. Cooley High is one of the most influential black movies ever. If you've never seen it, go watch it tonight, please. The next movie I have on here is The Wiz, 1978. Obviously, The Wiz is a rendition of The Wizard of Oz. Can you say rendition if it's not a song? I don't know. But it's a remake of The Wizard of Oz, the black version, starring Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, Ted Ross, Lena Horne, Richard Pryor. The director was Sidney Lumet, who's a legend, obviously. Obviously, it didn't get nominated for any Oscars. It wasn't a box office hit, but it was a hit in the hood. And before it was a movie, it was a play on Broadway. And instead of Diana Ross as Dorothy, it was Stephanie Mills, who was another great artist. You know what I mean? And allegedly might have dated Michael Jackson along with Diana Ross. But this movie. So here's what's so funny about this. This movie, when I was doing this list, this was like the last movie I thought of, and I was ashamed of myself because. And I was asking chat, I was asking Google, and no list had this movie on there. And you can argue The Wiz is the most important movie ever. You can argue The Wiz is the most important movie ever made. Why? Because if you don't get The Wiz, you probably don't get Michael and Quincy. If you don't get Michael and Quincy, the whole world is different. You don't get Thriller. You don't get some of the greatest music ever made that changed the world. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the same type of Michael Jackson we got. Quincy and Mike connected on this movie. You know what I mean? If you want to really understand what I'm saying, do research and go watch From Motown to Off the Wall. Spike Lee did the documentary. Came out like 2016. It's the best music documentary of all time. It's the only piece of Michael Jackson content that when they're talking about how great Michael Jackson is, it wasn't always easy to transition from him going from leaving his brothers and his dad in Motown to being a solo act. Nobody at that time had transitioned from being a child star to an adult star. He's the first guy to really do it. So labels, Sidney Lumet, the director of The Wiz, they didn't know if he was worth it. They didn't know if they didn't want him in the movie. If Michael doesn't do this movie, the whole world is different. So this is arguably the most impactful movie ever, The Wiz. The next movie I have is The Color Purple, 1985. The budget was $15 million. It made almost $100 million, $98 million. The cast, Whoopi Goldberg, Danny Glover, Oprah, Margaret Avery. The director was Steven Spielberg. Got nominated for 11 Oscars. Okay, got nominated for 11 Oscars. And it didn't win any, but Steven Spielberg is probably the greatest director of all time. Whoopi became a star after this. Oprah was already a star at the time and became an icon after this. You know what I'm saying? Danny Glover, what he became after this. You know what I'm saying? So just super impactful. Kind of don't feel like I gotta talk about that movie like that. The Color Purple, obviously. The next movie I have is Coming to America. Coming to America, 1988. The budget was $36 million. It made almost $300 million. Made almost $300 million. Obviously, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones, John Amos, Sherry Headley. The director was John Landis. It didn't get nominated for any Oscars. This movie is a movie I almost take for granted because I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. This movie is a part of my life. It's a part of everybody I know in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and I don't know how many times I've watched this movie from beginning to end because it's always been on TV. You just watch bits and pieces of it. I could quote this movie. Everybody I know could quote this movie. Kind of don't need to talk about it. Super impactful. The next movie is Do the Right Thing, 1989. The budget was $6 million. It made almost $40 million. The cast, Spike Lee, Danny Aiello, Ozzie Davis, Ruby Dee, Giancarlo Esposito, Bill Nunn, Rosie Perez. The director is obviously Spike Lee. And Spike Lee, this was his third movie. He had did School Days and She's Gotta Have It before this. And he had already did a Michael Jordan commercial at this time as Mars Blackman. So he was already a star. This movie made him an icon. He became an icon. This movie was polarizing. Spoiler alert, it ends with a black guy getting killed by the police. Ends in a riot. You know what I mean? So, of course, this movie is super relevant to this day. Obviously, it's just super impactful. Kind of didn't even need to talk about it that long. And I think this was the first movie I thought of. It was nominated for 2 Oscars. Best Supporting Actor with Danny Aiello and Best Original Screenplay, a crime that Spike didn't get nominated, super crime. Next movie I have is Boyz n the Hood, 1991. The budget was $6 million, and they made almost $60 million. Cast Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, Nia Long. Those actors right there, Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, Nia Long. Those 6 actors are 6 of the most important actors and actresses of my lifetime. And then John Singleton as the director. He was 23 years old when he directed this. I'm 30. I couldn't direct this movie. You know what I mean? Like, so John Singleton, rest in peace. Didn't get nominated for any Oscars. No, sorry, it did. It did get nominated for 2 Oscars. I'm sorry. Best Director. He got nominated at 23 for Best Director. They were definitely not about to give him that. And Best Original Screenplay. Definition of impactful. You see memes of it all the time. You see clips of it all the time. Just super duper impactful. Next movie I have is Juice, 1992. Budget was $5 million. It made $20 million. Cast Omar Epps, Tupac, Khalil Kain, and Jermaine Hopkins is still obviously. And the director is Ernest Dickerson. Obviously didn't get nominated for any Oscars, but super impactful movie. Aged way better than people might have thought it would. Probably more so because of the people that are in it. Omar Epps is somebody who's still in our lives now. Tupac is an icon. Khalil Kain was on Girlfriends, and he's been in our life for a long time. And this movie is one of the most authentic New York City movies ever. They're really in Harlem. They're walking down the streets of Harlem. The way the streets of Harlem look in that movie, they still look like that now. Super impactful movie. And the music is great. The soundtrack is great. Great Rakim song, Know the Ledge, is on here. And Tupac was already becoming a rap star. He was already a rap star. He's working on Strictly for My Niggas at this point. I Get Around, Brenda's Got a Baby, all of that. And I wasn't even alive. I was born in 1996. People knew Tupac was a star. But this movie showed how talented in the ceiling and how big he could get because of how great he was in this movie. The next movie is also from 1992, Boomerang. Boomerang is straight up one of my favorite movies ever. I think it's like almost a perfect movie. And by a perfect movie, I mean like for what the job of this movie is, for what the movie is trying to do, it executes it perfectly. I don't think it could have been done any better. Seriously. The budget was $34 million. No, the budget was $42 million. It made $131 million. The cast, Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, Robin Givens, David Alan Grier, Martin Lawrence, Grace Jones, Eartha Kitt, John Witherspoon. The director was Reginald Hudlin. Didn't get nominated for any Oscars. Super crime. And the soundtrack is probably the greatest soundtrack in movie history. Just straight up, just iconic soundtrack. Go listen to it right now. Eddie Murphy at this time, same thing with Coming to America. He's the biggest star in the world, one of the biggest stars in the world. And at this time, go read the reviews and what white people were saying about this movie. They didn't understand black culture. This is a black rom-com, and this movie is a movie that if it came out right now, people would love it. Everybody would love a movie like this if it came out. If it had real stars, a big budget, great music, it would do so good. I don't think this movie is that hard to make now. They just need to do it. I think we have the artists, the musical artists to make this movie. I think we have the actors. I think we have the directors. I think we have the movie studios to do it. Why won't they make movies like this? I could talk about Boomerang for an hour. You know what I mean? And the soundtrack launched, they were already making great music, but Babyface and L.A. Reid were pretty much the head of this soundtrack. This turned them into the musical icons and music pushers to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, just straight up icons. The next movie I have also came out in 1992, Malcolm X. So just imagine being a young black man in 1992. Or not young black man, just a young black person in 1992. You were able to see Juice, Boomerang, and Malcolm X, man. Like, come on, man. Like, we used to do stuff right. That is incredible. Malcolm X, the budget was $34 million. I was getting conflicting reports. I saw it made $50 million. I saw some that said $80 million. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. Starring Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett, director Spike Lee, got nominated for 2 Oscars, Best Actor and Best Costume Design. Denzel didn't win. One of the biggest crime in Oscars history. Denzel is perfect in this movie. I have Malcolm X right back there talking to Spike Lee. I don't know if you can see it right back there. It's one of the biggest crimes. So much of a crime that tomorrow they should give him the Oscar. They should take the Oscar away from the person who got it and give it to Denzel, and nobody would have an issue. Go watch Malcolm X. He's perfect the entire movie, and the movie's phenomenal. Shout out to Spike Lee. And the fact that Spike wasn't directed is ridiculous, too. I mean, the fact that Spike wasn't nominated is ridiculous. The next movie I have is Menace II Society, 1993. Another one of my favorite movies. The budget was $3 to $4 million. It made $30 million. The cast, Tyron Turner, Jada Pinkett, Lorenz Tate, Samuel Jackson. Even though I put Samuel Jackson, but Samuel Jackson's only in the movie like 2 to 5 minutes. You know what I mean? In the beginning of the movie. The director is the Hughes brothers. You know, go look up their story and how they wrote and got this movie made. It's really crazy, really inspirational, and really impactful. Like, before I even really got into this movie, I heard the story about how they made the movie or how they got the movie to get into production. Tyron Turner does a lot of interviews now. He still does stuff now. And obviously, Jada Pinkett is in our lives all the time now. Lorenz Tate is old dog, iconic performance. I'll say it right now as a hot take, and then I'm going to move on. This movie is better than Boyz in the Hood. It's more fun to watch than Boyz in the Hood, and it has better acting than Boyz in the Hood. I'm going to move on. The next movie I have, now we're getting into the fun, now we're about to get fun. I'm about to get lit. Friday, 1995. The budget was $3 million. It made $27 to $30 million. Cast Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, Nia Long, Tommy Tiny Lissa Jr., Debo. Regina King, John Witherspoon. The director is F. Gary Gray. Didn't get nominated for any Oscars. Straight crime. Friday is, I could talk about this movie for 15 hours. I think it gets the credit it deserves for being a great comedy, even from white people. It gets the credit. But I think this is actually a great film. It's shot great. It's written great. The coloring in the shots, it just looks really good. It's warm. It's a warm movie. And I just think the way it's shot is really good, especially the opening scene when they're going to different rooms. I just think it's underrated as a movie. Like, the movie is just really good and it's raw. You know what I mean? They shot this entire movie in a house and on the street. It's a Western, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really good. And it's not too many more impactful movies ever than this. I kind of don't need to talk about the movie this long. But I do want to talk about one thing. F. Gary Gray, who's one of the most underrated directors of all time. F. Gary Gray, he did The Italian Job. He did Straight Outta Compton. He did Set It Off. You know what I mean? Like, just a super underrated director. And I'll say this and I'll move on. F. Gary Gray is a better director than Antoine Fuqua, but Antoine Fuqua keeps getting all these chances with these big movies. And no disrespect to Antoine Fuqua, but if F. Gary Gray directed the Michael Jackson movie, it would have been better. F. Gary Gray is just a really good, underrated director. Like, if he directed a great movie next year, nobody would be shocked. I'm going to move on. Next movie I have is Set It Off. Back-to-back F. Gary Gray, 1996. The budget was $9 million. It made $41 million. Cast Jada Pinkett Smith, Queen Latifah, Vivica A. Fox, Kimberly Elise. Didn't get nominated for any Oscars. I'm going to say this. I think this movie is one of the best bank robbery movies ever, and the only reason people don't put it up there is because it's for black women. And that's really annoying to me, man. Like, and I'm not trying to pander, I ain't trying to be woke. Like, this movie should get talked about way more. They went on Broadway with it a few years ago. But this movie is just really good to watch. It's funny at different times. It's great action and it's great acting. Next movie, Love Jones, 1997. The budget was $7 million and made $12 million. Starring Lorenz Tate and Nia Long and Bill Bellamy. The director was Theodore Witcher. Didn't get nominated for any Oscars, but this movie lives on to this day, man. People still, high schoolers and people in college right now still go back and watch this movie. I think Lorenz Tate is a beast in this movie. The fact that he wasn't nominated for an Oscar is crazy. He's perfect in the movie. Like, you can't get more perfect than he's being in this movie. And Nia Long is great in this movie too. It's one of the best love stories ever. It just is. And I'm not trying to be woke, man. White people need to go watch this movie because they would love it. Y'all just didn't watch it because it's full of black people. You know what I mean? Next movie I have, The Best Man, 1999. So we just got Friday, Love Jones, The Best Man. 3 out of the last 4 movies I named got Nia Long in it. She's just great, man. She's just great. The Best Man, black rom-com. What is this? The second black rom-com we have at the Boomerang. It is just a great movie. They made a sequel and they made a show. The sequel is really sad. I can't watch it. The show, I liked it. I think I'm the only person that liked it. I was into it. I know they didn't look like they wanted to do it. They got paid to do it. It was on Peacock. The cast, Taye Diggs, Nia Long, Morris Chestnut, Sanaa Lathan, Terrence Howard, Harold Pinot. The director, Michael D. Lee, wasn't nominated for any Oscars. I actually thought it did. I was kind of shocked it didn't because this movie was big at the time. Like, you know what I mean? It turned Taye Diggs into a star in the black community. He did Driving Miss Daisy, right? This turned him into a real star. You know what I mean? Morris Chestnut, he did Boyz in the Hood. He was already doing things, but he became a star. Women started to find him attractive. You know what I'm saying? And obviously Nia Long, Terrence Howard, Sanaa Lathan. She should have been in more things in my lifetime. Like, as I got older, like, she should have been in a great movie in like the 2010s, but she just wasn't. I'm gonna move on. Love and Basketball. The next movie I have is Love and Basketball. So back-to-back Sanaa Lathan movies. Love and Basketball, year 2000. Budget $20 million, made $25 million. So it wasn't a hit. Starring Omar Epps, Sanaa Lathan, Aldridge Woodward, and according to Kanye West, the fake Denzel. The director, Gina Prince Bythewood, didn't get nominated for any Oscars, but a woman director. I think this is the first woman director I have on here, probably the only one. Super impactful movie. I'll just say this: the number one most impactful thing about this movie, I'm not trying to be vulgar, but the scene where Sanaa Lathan's character is losing her virginity, the song that's playing, "A Woman's Worth" by Maxwell. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately, a lot of people in my generation lost their virginity to that song. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just really impactful. And this was a great movie. Both of them, Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan should have been in like a movie every other year. They had great chemistry all the time. All the time, man. I just don't know why they didn't do more stuff. The next movie I have is Friday After Next, 2002. 2002, Friday After Next. The budget was $10 million. It made $33 million. Do I even have to talk about this movie? I should have a poster of this movie in here. So I don't know if you can see, I got Bad Boys 2 back there. Friday After Next is probably actually the movie I watched the most. And then it's Bad Boys 2. Friday After Next is one of the best Christmas movies of all time. And for some reason, people don't consider it a Christmas movie. I never see it on Christmas lists like that. And it's by far the funniest Christmas movie ever. I don't want to hear that bad Santa elf stuff. It's not funnier than Friday After Next. Mike Epps in this movie is perfect. Mike Epps, Ice Cube, John Witherspoon, DC Curry, didn't get nominated for any Oscars, but this movie is just iconic, man. Like, it just is, man. Everybody quotes this movie to this day. Top flight security of the world, Craig. Like, this movie is beyond iconic. And I feel like it kind of gets underrated. Like, I can't believe people don't mention this as a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie. Ricky Smiley's in this movie. That's another thing. Ricky Smiley's in this movie. He's still relevant to this day. Santa Claus is the main story of the movie, pretty much. Like, it's a Christmas movie. And it's funnier than all the other Christmas movies. Okay, the next movie I have is Drumline. The budget was $20 million. It's $50 to $60 million, it says. I kept getting conflicting reports on that too. I don't know why it came out in 2002. It should be straightforward. And it was a big movie at the time. I remember going to see this as a kid. I remember in New York going to see this movie. Starring Nick Cannon, Zoe Saldana, and Orlando Jones. Charles Stone III directed it. Didn't get nominated for any Oscars, but this movie still lives on. People still watch this movie. This made a bunch of kids in my generation want to go to college, especially to HBCUs. Just a super impactful movie. It made everybody want to play the drums. Every kid, when you were in band in elementary school or in middle school, you wanted to play drums because you wanted to be like Nick Cannon in this movie. He looked so cool playing drums in this movie. Had a huge impact on generations to come. Next movie I have is Hustle and Flow, 2005. The budget was $2.8 million. Super low budget. Made $23 million. So it wasn't a huge hit, but it got nominated for 2 Oscars and it won an Oscar. I'm going to get to that in a minute. The cast, Terrence Howard, Anthony Anderson, and Taraji P. Henson, and Ludacris. The director was Craig Brewer. It got nominated for 2 Oscars, Best Original Song and the Best Actor. Terrence Howard didn't win, but he was really good in this movie. I'm not gonna say I remember, but I remember the moment when they won the Oscar, and I see the clip all the time on Twitter or whatever, YouTube, of Queen Latifah going, and the Oscar goes to 3 6 Mafia. The Oscars, a rap group from Memphis won an Oscar. Like, what? You can't define. You don't get more impactful than that, okay? And then it's so hard out here for a pimp. All of that stuff. You know what I mean? And I still talk like Terrence Howard from this movie every now and then. Come on, man. Hey, man. You know what I mean? So, the next movie I have is ATL, 2006. I hate this movie. Came out in 2006. Why is it hard to find out what the budget was? I saw stuff that said $8 million. I saw something that said $20 million. I'm going to lean to it was closer to $5 million. Okay, this movie was shot on, they was in a mansion at one point. Maybe the budget was kind of up there. I don't know. It made $20 million. It wasn't a hit, but it still was. It was kind of critically acclaimed in a way. People really liked this movie. Starring T.I., from Atlanta, obviously. Lauren London, Big Boy, Evan Ross, Jackie Long, and Keith David. The director was Chris Robinson. Didn't get nominated for anything. Kind of shocked it didn't. T.I. was great in this movie, man. I thought Jackie Long was great. I thought Jackie Long was the best actor in this movie. Jackie Long, you got a Picasso in your house. That's a great acting from him and Lauren London at that scene. T.I. was already a rap star. This movie, not like Juice with Tupac, obviously, but when this movie came out, it's like, oh, T.I. can become an even bigger star than we think. He's capable of a little more than we think. And I'm from Atlanta. This movie came out in 2006. Roll Bounce came out late 2005, late 2005. Everybody from my neighborhood, I can't speak for the rest of the country, but ATL and Roll Bounce had everybody from my neighborhood wanting to skate. It had every girl wanting a guy who could skate. When I was in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, every guy wanted to know how to skate good. It sounds crazy now. Like if I met one of my friends from back then, I wonder would they remember that. They obviously would, but like I wonder if they think about it like that. Like, yo, do you remember how into skating you was, bro? Like we all were into it because of these two movies and because that's what girls liked. You know what I'm saying? So super impactful. The last movie I have, we're at the end. Sinners came out last year. The budget, $100 million. It made almost $400 million. It was an original movie. Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Miles Caton, Jack O'Connell. The director, Ryan Coogler, who's the director of my generation other than Christopher Nolan. The Color Purple, directed by Steven Spielberg, got nominated for 11 Oscars. Sinners got nominated for 16 Oscars. It won 4. Okay? It won for Best Actor, Michael B. Jordan. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan for winning for Best Actor. It was just crazy seeing him win that. Original screenplay and original score, Ludwig Göransson. Ludwig Göransson, go Google him. He's one of the most important people of my generation. Straight up one of the most important people of my generation. You could argue he's better at scoring movies than anybody else is at anything in my generation. Seriously. LeBron at basketball, Drake at what he does. He's that successful in his... There's not too many people more successful in the last 20 years at what they do than him. Ludwig Göransson is incredible. He made Redbone one of the best records of my time. He did the score for The Odyssey. That's the biggest movie right now. You know what I mean? Or the biggest movie right now. He did Oppenheimer. He did Black Panther. He did the Black Panther soundtrack. He's incredible, man, this guy. And the soundtrack for Sinners is timeless to me. So that's it. Those are my top 20 most impactful black movies of all time. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a movie or two. I had my friend Randall. He was telling me Soul Plane, Waiting to Exhale, Eve's Bayou. I just couldn't put those movies in there. I don't know how impactful. Excuse me. Soul Plane is impactful still, but it wasn't big when it came out at all. Super flop. It's probably the greatest bootleg movie of all time in the black community. I've never seen everybody in my life had the Soul Plane movie, and everybody had the bootleg. Nobody had the official DVD for Soul Plane. I've only watched the bootleg of that movie until they started showing it on TV and streaming services. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? So that's it, man. I'll go through the list one more time just to say it at the end. Cooley High, The Wiz, Color Purple, Coming to America, Do the Right Thing, Boyz n the Hood, Juice, Boomerang, Malcolm X, Menace II Society, Friday, Set It Off, Love Jones, The Best Man, Love and Basketball, Friday After Next, Drumline, Hustle and Flow, ATL, and Sinners. Those are the 20 most impactful black movies of all time. I am Jabari. I really appreciate y'all checking this video out. Please, if you haven't seen any of these movies, I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't seen Cooley High. Go watch Cooley High. And go watch it with a box of Kleenex next to you. But go watch Cooley High. It's a phenomenal movie. And that's it, man. Thank y'all. Peace.